God is good. Welcome to it's Eric Lima here. Welcome to my YouTube show in which my sentimental thoughts come from my heart. Also, where my mental oddball shenanigans are coming from my brain. It's EML77 TV, episode 550. I got some update. I talked to my parents about my brother Michael. As you know, I was concerned he was off Facebook for a while. With him considering all that he's been going through, like I say, he was going through a divorce, but with everything happening, everything's been put on hold, and he loved his little girl so much, and unfortunately he wasn't able to see her, so he didn't want to deal with anybody for a while, and he's keeping to himself. And I pray, Michael, if you are watching this, just let me know that I love you. You're my brother, and keep your head up. I hope you're going to be okay. Everything, all things come together for those who love the Lord. So remember that when you're trying to deal with situations like this. Although there's bigger fish to fry here, obviously, but however, I talked about this on my Facebook video. If you're a friend of mine on Facebook and you watched it and you watch that video, you know what I talk about. Worrying, because a lot of people are saying a lot. There's a lot of stuff going on, and a lot of things, and they're saying a lot of things could happen from now until whenever. But I've always been a firm believer of taking things one day at a time, and I think we should do that and not worry about tomorrow, not worry about a few weeks from now. I understand there's a lot of people out there that want to get their lives back in normal and all that, but unfortunately, it won't be the same normal as we grown accustomed to prior to the middle of March. It is going to be different, obviously, and I know life won't be the same ever again. And how we're going to get everything back on track is something that we going to need to deal with. And if that's the case, then you can put the blame on the country that started it all, and the government that started it all. And a lot of people are blaming, like I said, again, I don't know why people put the blame game on everybody else. And I think it's about time that instead of us putting the blame on our politicians and blaming others, let's play our part and try to basically do our part in saving the country and saving people. It isn't going to be easy. We got to help out a fellow man. We got to help out our essential workers out there. We just we just got to hang in there and just we got to keep going. We have to seriously keep going with our lives, so to speak. Even if we're not able to do a whole lot right now, I think it's best that we not worry. We not worry. I know a lot of people hate Donald Trump as the President of the United States, and listen, not every Republican president is going to be very popular with the masses nowadays. I've just been seeing a whole lot of that. First George Bush, and then Donald Trump. It's like every time a Republican president has been put in charge, something tragic always happens in a year. When George W. Bush was president during his term, something majorly tragic. Every time a Republican president runs the country, it seems like a major tragedy happens during his term. I mean, George W. Bush's term, 9/11 happened. Now, in Donald Trump's term, we have the whole COVID-19 thing going on. It is a scary thought about what's going to happen in the future, but let's forget all that. All right, let's forget all that, because the more we worry about this, the more negative that we're going to feel. All right, it doesn't matter, It doesn't matter who's the president, who's in charge. I never complained when Clinton became president. I never complained when Obama became president. And I do keep a lot of my political views to myself. I've tried to respect everybody in charge, and I always am a firm believer of just praying for our officials, no matter what. And that's why you don't see a whole lot of political posts. You don't see any political post on my social media feeds, and that's the main reason why. Yeah, I can be angry and upset about a few things here and there and respond, but at the same time, that's why I don't discuss politics that much. I think the attitude that I have is that it's up. Whoever's a political expert, they can talk about it. I'm not a political expert, never have been, and will be. I just go out there. All I gotta do is just go out there and vote, and that's probably the main thing. But I think in the next few years, a lot of things are going to change, and some may be good, some may be bad. All I know is the one thing that constantly remains the same is God's love as God and His love. And I know a lot of people out there do not believe in God. There's people out there who do not worship the Lord or believe in Jesus Christ as their Lord and personal Savior like I have. And I'm not bashing anybody if they don't believe in God. People. So people ask me what it's like being a born-again Christian. It's a challenge. It's a challenge because you got friends that don't believe in God, and you talk to them, and they make fun of you and mock you. I've been mocked so many times, all right? And, people ask me questions, and, I pray, I believe in the Holy Spirit. I believe the Lord Jesus Christ died on the cross for me, and He came back from the dead. He died on the cross for my sins. And one thing that God has taught me is to love everybody. And that's why I don't trash gay people. I don't trash the homosexuals. I don't trash the prostitutes. Because here's the funny part. Jesus, when He was alive, He ate with the taxpayers and the tax collectors and sinners. He ate with those people. And that's the thing I want to get to. He eats with tax, and is it Matthew 9:10 through 17. It's a good thing on. There's tax collectors and sinners. Now, sinners covers a whole bunch of, here's the fun part. Well, here's the good part about the whole thing. When you talk about, Jesus was having dinner at Matthew's house. Matthew was a tax collector, and many tax collectors and sinners came and ate with him and his disciples. When the Pharisees saw this, they asked his disciples, "Why does your teacher eat with tax collectors and sinners?" And hearing this, Jesus said, "It is not the healthy who need a doctor, but the sick. But go and learn what this means. I desire mercy, not sacrifice. For I have not come to call the righteous, but sinners." It's something that, in other words, He cared about everybody. Like John 3:16 says, "For God so loved the world, that whoever's, that He gave His only begotten Son, whoever believeth in Him shall not perish but have everlasting life." You see, we're all sinners in this world, including myself. I'm a born-again Christian. We're human. The funny part is, being a born-again Christian, does that mean you're better than everyone else? No, it is not. I never meant to be better than anybody else. Never have been, never will be. I'm a human being just like everybody else in this crazy world. Okay? And I make mistakes. And I'm going to make more mistakes in the future. I'm going to sin more in the future. But God is always willing to forgive me. Because sometimes we born-again Christians fall back into the same thing. And listen, it is not easy to be that. Why am I being a preacher all of a sudden? I'm not being a preacher. I'm just letting you all know that Jesus loves you. And the reason why I'm doing this YouTube thing is because I felt like I've been given a gift, and I figured I'd reach out to all of you good people out there. Now, I'm going to get mocked. And a lot of people, I've been mocked and been disrespected by a lot of people out there. Yes, I block a lot of people because if they cannot be mature enough to show me some respect, I sometimes demand respect is because there's too many people out there that I don't know, and they don't know me very well, And I'm sure a lot of you have been thinking, well, God, if God's so great, why are you living in your parents' basement? Well, listen, in everything, rejoice. That's how I've always been a firm believer of. In everything, rejoice. Life has not been easy for me over my life, but I am still cool, calm, and collected. Because one thing I know, we're going to get through this thing. We're going to get over the social distancing, isolation, quarantine, and we're going to go back to work. And just, it is a challenge. It is a superior challenge that we all have. And whether that is going to happen or not, it's up to us, as people. A lot of things in my life, I've been through a lot. But like I said, the reason the Lord has sustained me through a lot. And listen, let me tell you folks something. If it had not been for the Lord, I would not be here today, again, talking to all of you guys out there. And I praise God every single day for everything He's done for me and for my family. I make mistakes. I always ask God to forgive me of every little sin that I've committed against you, no matter how big or small. I've asked the Lord to forgive me for every sin that I've committed against Him in the past, in the present, and in the future. Only God knows everything about me. I know, I wasn't planning on talking about this, but, to be honest with you, I know a lot of people may be concerned that I'm gone crazy and all that. Hey, listen, I'm not normal, plain and simple. I've been mocked by people who don't believe in God. And I could easily say, God, strike them down with lightning and kill them right off the bat. And that's not right. That's not how we should be. How we Christians should be. We should be praying for each and every one of our friends and family and loved ones who don't believe in God. And I'm not, listen, God sacrificed His Son to save all of us. He loves every single one of us. He even loved the homosexuals. He loved Donald Trump. He loved all our politicians. He loved all the good people, good or bad. He loved the criminals. He loved everybody. God loved the world. God loved us. Then He said, and Jesus says, listen, I'm willing to die for these people. Let me be the final sacrifice. And He's done that. What's amazing about this whole thing is that, listen, God has blessed me with a lot of good things in this world. He's blessed me with a job I'm able to make money off. I may not like the job, but it's a job that's blessed me financially. It's a job that's helped me. And I don't play around. I don't play around. I don't BS. I know Cecil Richardson has told me that I'm very, very straightforward, to the point. I don't pussyfoot around or anything like that. No offense. I'm just trying to. I just do what I do best, and that is I just do what I do best. Don't sugarcoat anything, and I do appreciate that, Cecil. Really, really do. It is what it is. I mean, just to let you know, I was concerned about everything that's been going on, and I've learned not to worry. I've learned not to be fearful or be scared. There's another scripture. I believe it's 1st and 2nd Timothy, and I forget one of those two. Is God has not given me a spirit of fear, but a power, love, and a sound mind. And as long as I have that and the Holy Spirit guiding me, I'll be okay. And I know I will be. And it's a rarity I talk about this. I mean, with everything going on, I figured it'd be a great time to do so. So I do apologize, but then again, I don't have to. But still, I figured to let you know that the reason why I'm trying to be friendly with people and be respectful towards people, even though there's days that I get mocked, there's days that I've been made fun of, and sometimes that non-Christian side takes over and just you better call them names, swear at them and all. But nowadays, you see me act like almost like I act like a parent. Said, hey, this is not right what you're doing, and me punish, I felt like I'm disciplining kids by just blocking them and not say, like you're not going to watch TV. When parents grounded me back in the day, or when I was a teenager, they used to punish me from watching TV, looking at my baseball cards, listening to my radio, playing video games and whatnot. And I don't feel like I'm disciplining people out there, so to speak. When I block them, it's like you're not allowed to comment on my videos, not allowed to watch them, and all that. And good stuff. There's some good people out there, and we don't know. Like I said, I think we're trying to be realistic on when the social distancing, isolation, quarantine thing is going to end. But one thing's for sure, I'm just trying to be a good person that I can be to all of you. There's some good and wonderful people out there who are trying to make a difference in our lives, and we got to pray for our essential workers. We got to, everybody in the medical field, from the EMTs that bring them, the EMTs, the ambulances, the paramedics that bring the patients in, to the doctors and nurses that try to fix people up to make sure they get better. Also, you got the police officers, the firefighters, the mail people. Get all sorts of, and everybody that is doing essential business, whether it be in the form of entertainment via wrestling. The WWE is going to be doing back to their live shows and whatnot at the Performance Center, and it's something, they felt obligated to do that. They said that they want to bring smiles to people's faces. And then you got news reporters who are, still bringing the news. Its whole entire government in the White House, and instead of arguing and being upset with people, I suggest, and goes for the president as well, to stop the bickering and arguing and being angry, and just work together to try to get our country back to form. And it isn't going to be easy as long as everybody's arguing and everybody's upset. To me personally, it doesn't matter whose fault this was. Work together and let's get it done. And we got to stop sniping at each other. We have to stop, being mean and bullied in towards one another. If I catch anybody making mean comments towards me, I'm going to tell them like it is. I'm going to say, listen, this is not the way you want to behave. We got a pandemic going on here. This is not the time to tear people down. We got to lift people up. And I'm not here tearing anybody down. I'm not very happy about the trolls and haters getting at me and, getting at me and everything else. And I do respect, I know I appreciate you guys want to express yourselves and all, but don't take your anger out. I feel like there's people out there taking their anger out on others, and that's not right. You talk about, I hear reports Asian Americans getting attacked because of this virus thing and blaming people, And I'm sure they've been called many, many different names, like bat eaters or something like that. Ozzy Osbourne's not Asian. He ate a bat. He bit his bat's head off, and somehow he survived throughout the whole thing. I don't know how, but whatever. But neither here nor there. But what I'm trying to say is, folks, that let's be encouraging. Let's again, like I said a couple of episodes ago, being a beacon of light, and that's what we need to be. Am I perfect? Nope. Am I better than everyone else? Nope. Am I all that? Nope. I'm just plain old Eric Lima. I'm a human being just like you and me. Yes, I live a different lifestyle than others. That of a believer in Jesus Christ as my Lord and personal Savior. God's always been good to me. I want to make sure He's been good to you. You don't have to believe in it. You can believe in Him, or you don't believe in Him. It's entirely up to you guys what your decision is. You know, I'm just giving you my testimony of my life. You know, I was abused when I was a kid growing up. When I was a little child, in the early 80s. When my biological parents separated, my mother took me to New Hampshire to live with a friend of ours. And come to find out that my biological mother and this friend of ours has been having an affair. Basically, that's what it was. They had an affair. My biological mother, God rest her soul, and the man that was supposed to be a friend to not only her but to my father as well. What happened was this person made my mother betray my father, and in turn he betrayed my father's friendship. I mean, I can easily be angry at him and all that because he abused me. You know, the worst thing that he does is I used to be afraid of having soap in my eyes, so he always threatened me with a cold shower because I'm afraid to have soap and water in my eyes. I never liked that. And that's what happens. And every time I go in, I cry my eyes out. I did not want to be in New Hampshire. I wanted to go home. I wanted to go to New Bedford. That's what I told them. And they said, you know, I always talk about my address in New Bedford. And Mom says, my biological mother told me, hey, in order for, we had to have money. And I wouldn't be surprised if the money that she could have had to send me back was on drugs. Back then, my biological parents, did drugs until they separated, until I was taken. Yeah, and the crazy part is this is my biological mother, not my current mother, not my current stepmom. My biological mother's passed on. In fact, my biological mother's been dead for 8 years. But this is my stepmother. I call her mom now. That she's currently living. You know, I don't want to confuse anybody. I had a biological mother. She passed away in 2012. The woman that's married my dad right now is my stepmother, but I call her mom. She's like a second mom to me. And she's been like a mom. And she's been a mom to me. And she has, I have that right to call her mom. And I'm really proud of her and I love her. I also love my biological mom. It's not easy talking about this, but I'm going to get through this. Listen, you may be thinking the quarantine, isolation, quarantine, social distancing has gotten to you. You're going crazy, you're talking crazy talk. Calm down. I'm fine. Is that the way, the way my life has been? I figured it'd be the right time to talk about it. Talk about my life and talk about who I really am on the inside. I'm not just a guy who talks about wrestling, does play video games, or talk baseball, talk sports, or anything, or talk wrestling, or even talk video games or anything like that. I'm just a human being, just like everybody else. There's another side to me, and this is the other side. All the other stuff I talk about is just more of fun and entertainment. I figured I want to reach you guys out there. I know a lot of people out there that they're scared about their future, and they're scared about what's going to happen to them. I'm here to tell you, you don't need to be afraid. If we worry about one thing one day at a time, you'll be okay. I figured I'd lift you up and be an encouragement, and plus someone and set an example. I know I'm not the best example of being a born-again Christian ever. I know I'm not going to open up I'm sure you're thinking, then you're going to open up a mega church, and you're going to get rich and all that. Because I'm not Joel Osteen or Kenneth Copeland or Oral Roberts or Jim Baker or Jimmy Swagger or not any of these preachers. I'm just Eric Lima, and that's the big thing. God created me to be Eric Lima and nobody else. I'm not created to be like The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, Hulk Hogan. I am not created to be any sports athlete or celebrity. And I'm not created to, be a pretty boy or something. I'm created to serve God. I'm created to use my gifts not for Him and to help all of you guys out there. So you can take it as face value as it is. A lot of, you guys, there's people out there that go through a lot of things in their lives. I want to encourage you. And I'm not here to slam people or be mean to people or be a bully to people. I'm here just to be me. I'm here to tell you about my life and about who I am. And I felt YouTube has given me the open door to do exactly that. I'm not here to be internet famous. I'm not, people go, how do you do all these videos and all that? Is to communicate with the world. Whether or not I be popular or not, I don't think that's in the cards for me per se. I'm not, listen, if people want to ask me questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them the best way I can, using God's wisdom. All right? I just want to encourage you guys all. That's all. It's not that easy to talk about stuff like this on the internet, but, I do have a heart. I have a heart for people, and that's why I want to do this. To encourage you all, but to also say, make you all think. Sometimes I want to make people think. And I like to think, okay, he said some lot of interesting stuff. I'm not forcing God on you guys, all right? Just listen up. I'm not forcing the gospel. I'm not forcing the Bible and everything else. I'm just telling you what God has done for me. And it's basically my testimony. This is my testimony. To help you feel encouraged. To say, if Eric has gone through the stuff he's gone through and come out okay, I can too. And that's what, basically. If it works for Eric, I want it to work for me. I want to encourage people. That's all. Whether or not you want to make that decision is up to you. Alright? Just relax, chill, do the thing, pose. Anyways, let me continue my testimony on this. And so when I was younger, I was diagnosed with neurotoxoplasmosis, and I was deaf in one eye. This eye here, because usually this eye goes that way, and I'm deaf in one ear, be the right ear. So during the time I was up in New Hampshire, I did not have a very good time. There was snow all around. I hated. Back then it was like, okay, and I have decided to try. I attempted to run away from New Hampshire twice, and even in fact, one of my neighbors, one of my old neighbors, one of my neighbors from the street that I used to live on back in the day was vacationing up in New Hampshire, and I ran into him and said, "Hey, please take me home. I want to go home. I don't want to be here. That's not my home." New Hampshire was not my home. I didn't want to be here. I was a little kid at the time. I was young, probably 5 or 6 or 7. I was 5 or 6 years old. I wanted to go home. One day my father visited me with my aunt and uncle, and they're both from my mom's side of the family. My father was so happy to see me, held me up in his arms and started crying and says, "I love you." Come to find out that, he decided to get rid of everything that's that's cost him everything. He got rid of the drugs, he got rid of everything else, and I think he was supposed to pay some money, but I think a drug dealer friend or something like that says, "Listen, I got you. I'll get you the money. Don't worry about a thing." God intervened in my father's life first. And as I was struggling with a lot of things. And I was only 6 years old, and next few weeks after that, I wanted to go home. I started crying. I wanted to go home. One day my father called. He says, "I'm coming to pick up my son. I'm taking him home with me." My father actually stepped up and vowed to take care of me. In fact, when my mother told me this, my biological mother told me this, I was really excited. And for the first time, I took a shower, didn't cry once. I closed my eyes while taking a shower. And then I dried off my eyes and everything else, put on some clothes. And I was going to pack up. I brought my He-Man toys, and I did not bring the rest of I forgot to get him. Get him. I wanted to bring my He-Man toys, and he said, "I'll leave him here." I don't want to leave him there. And he's like, "Just in case you want to come back." I'm not coming back. I wasn't coming back. That was not my plan. Finally, I went home. My father picked me up. I was so happy I started singing. My father got a little aggravated, but just, but he didn't stop me. I was so happy. I was so happy I was going home. My father didn't understand it. I was happy going to be home. And then he reported child abuse because my legs were all black and blue and all that good stuff. And then it was the weekend, come back home from New Bedford, all the way from New Hampshire, and my father decided to throw a party for me. My friends next door, some of my friends were happy to see me again. And it was something to, and it was, it was something I will never forget. And I remember having to go back to Gomes School, and I was really concerned. And he said, "We got to talk to Miss," I was only in first. I was in first grade when everything went down. In fact, my mother didn't have the heart to tell the school, Gomes. I was going to Gomes School at the time that I had left. My biological mother did not have the heart to tell him she's taking Eric out of the state. Nobody knew I left. I'm sure they called my father about this. Gomes School did. So it is, it is what, it is something that's, I dealt with. But God intervened in my life. He saved my life completely. My father and I started going to church every Sunday morning and Sunday evening. Until we settled on a church, until my father started going to one of the Bible studies, he settled on a church. My next door neighbor was a born-again Christian at the time, witness to my father. My father got born again under her, and then my father got born again, and I got born again in the church that I went to. And I started learning a lot about God, read the Bible. I've always loved the Bible stories of some of the great, like Joseph, Moses, Joshua, folks like Samson. And Joseph is my favorite because, he reminds me a lot of me, having big dreams. He gets mocked for it. And then all of a sudden he became great in Egypt, and then reunited with his family and all. And I feel in my heart that, people, I'm just encouraged. And, I'm just, oh, wow. A friend of mine, and let's see, where is it? Yeah, so I'm very, very thankful of my life. Just to let you know what's going on. Yeah, my life has not been the same, to be honest. Just you know, it's something that uh, yeah, I've been through a lot, and ever since I came back home in the early '80s, I usually talk about how great the '80s were, how awesome when they were, and for a period of time they were not. But I'm not bitter. I'm not angry anymore. Both my mother and the man that she was with ended up getting married later on, like late '80s, early '90s. My father got remarried in the late in '88. I think my biological mother remarried in like the early '90s, probably '92, '93, possibly '94. This is before my whole entire family and I moved, and all I gotta say is this: is that I'm very thankful for God rescuing me from that day. From that day, I'm sure you guys are wondering: have you ever talked to your biological mother ever again? Even after the whole thing went through and everything else, thanks to people in my church who helped me and who helped me get through this and all. I did. I was still in speaking terms with my biological mother at the time before she passed on in 2012. And the man that she ended up married, technically he became my stepfather. He had cancer during in the he was diagnosed with cancer in the early '90s, and he says I remember talking to him for a short while, and he goes, "You just make sure you behave, okay? Do you hear me?" I said, "Yeah." And to let Daniel Parker and Mom know that my biological mother know that I'm okay. And I'm sure they're watching from the great big computer in the sky, letting them know I'm okay and I'm doing fine, despite what's been going on. Like I said, if I can get through all I've been through, we can get through with this. Figured I'd use my testimony to show you guys that, hey, even in times like this, I still stand firm, stand strong. And I know that God has been with me all along. And He has been and will continue to do so. Yes, Cecil, I do have to tell things like they are, not sugar-coated BS. You got my respect. You may think I'm talking crazy, but I'm not. But like I said, it's up to you guys of what your decision will be. If you want to accept the Lord or not, if you want to go about your usual way, that's fine. I'm not forcing this on you. Sometimes that's why I give my testimony, because I want to let you guys know what I've been through. To me, this situation's kind of, I would say, I don't want to be arrogant and say this is nothing at all, but I've been through a lot worse. I can guarantee you I wasn't the same after that. I had to make a change of my life at that point in time. When I was a little kid, I was encouraged. Now, I could easily say, no, I don't want to, but I was more than willing to learn new things, learn new ways, and I was encouraged ever since. Just the things I had to cut out in my life, but that's the way it is, man. But I'm very, very encouraged to talk to all of you guys. I love each and every one of you guys out there. I don't care what you go through in life. Remember, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. It ain't just a song sung by Bobby McFerrin. Yeah, we're going through a pandemic right now. We're going through social distancing, isolation, quarantine. But what we need to do is just stand strong, stand tough, stand your ground. Make sure you have everything you need to survive this. Because one day, we'll be giving thanks to the Lord. There could be things, tragedies happen in your life. A tragedy will change a person. Whether it be a fatal one or one of separation, like a divorce, or nobody wants to talk to any individuals anymore. No, you don't want to talk to your loved ones anymore. You're not on speaking terms with somebody that you've got into a rift with. I'm personally putting my life out there. You know, I'm just, I don't know. My life, I could easily say my life sucks. I could easily say that with everything going on. But I choose not to. Again, I just thank God. Now, I know y'all be thinking, guy's gone crazy. Wouldn't surprise me because I'm always nuts. But hey, it's a good nuts. Not totally psychotic, crazy, come at you with a butcher knife and here's Johnny. Shining kind of nuts. No. It's a good kind of nuts. Just to make you smile and be entertained. So I promise you guys I will bring more entertainment to you guys. Trust me on this one. I said I was going to bring an episode, get these thumbs. I'll do one tomorrow because it's almost Monday Night Raw time. Okay? So I want to wish you love, prosperity, peace, God's blessings on you guys. And to those who don't believe in God, I'm still going to say it. Love, prosperity, peace, and God's blessing to all of you out there. Hopefully you get smiles on your face. Hope you bring smiles to others. We will get through this. And to all the essential workers, from the people in the medical field, from the EMTs and paramedics down to the head doctor, thank you for your service and keep on going. Don't worry. Don't give up. You will get through this. And I know it's going to be stressful for you guys. To the, the bus drivers out there, the truck drivers, including my good friend Kevin Henry, to all the people working in the supermarkets right now. God bless every single one of you, and I will pray for your protection and let you know that God's got your back. Listen, I'm not a preacher or a prophet or anything like that. I just want to give my testimony because I figured you guys need encouragement. So I have a heart for people, and that's how I am. And sometimes there's people out there that are going to disrespect me and say a lot of mean, nasty things to me. I have to block them out because I don't want people getting influenced by the garbage talk. That's why. And it's also for the trolls' own good because I don't want anybody bashing trolls or anything like that. I don't hate the trolls. I don't hate the haters. But I figure, you gotta have I gotta have a rational mind when it comes to that and just be on the safe side. It's for safety reasons only. All right? So I'll see you guys later. You guys have a wonderful day. I'll see you in episode 551. And, again, may God bless you guys. Peace. And hopefully I'll give you a Get These Thumbs episode. It's going to be hard for me to find out which game I want to play. That's the challenging part. Because they have a whole library of games I want to play. But I'll figure something out. You got to figure something out. Those old noggin will be spinning the information. All right? Peace.